Who's behind the mask?
Titus!
Titus! You want to say hi to your friends? Say hi.
Hi.
Who's behind the mask?
Bella!
Bella! And who's that? You say hi, Grayson.
Grayson!
Grayson! Bella, what happened to your arm?
I broke it.
Oh man. Are you excited to see your friends at church soon?
Yes.
All right. Who's behind the mask?
Hope!
Hi, Hope! Who's behind the mask? Who is it? Evie. Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
Who's behind the mask?
Jeremiah!
Jeremiah. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Hi, boys and girls. I have lots of extra helpers with me today that are going to help us with the Bible story. Today, we're first of all going to talk about someone who had a special job from God. But when people looked at him, they didn't think that he would be chosen for anything special. So I thought about sometimes we look at our friends and we think, oh, they are way cooler than I am, or they're special and I'm not. And sometimes that makes us sad. So we're going to talk about some of Isaiah's friends and sometimes things that we might get jealous of. All right, we might have friends that we look at and think, they are so smart. They're smarter than me. I bet God will use them. We have friends that are strong and we don't feel as strong as them. We have friends that are pretty, or we think they look better than us, so they must be more special. We have friends that are fast and they can do things and run really fast. We have friends that can build things or make things, and we think, oh, I wish I could do that. We have friends that are super tall and handsome. We have friends that have fancy clothes and maybe they have more toys than us, and we think, oh, they're more special because they have so many things. And we might have friends that are athletic. Maybe they can do cartwheels or back bends or play baseball or swim better than us. You know what? All of those things are really cool and God gives us special talents, but that's not what's most important to God. God has a special plan for everyone. No matter if we're tall or short or fast, or we can read really well, whatever our talent is, God loves us. In our story today, someone didn't think he was as special as his brothers, but God had a very special plan for him. In our Bible story today, we're going to learn about David and how God had a very special plan for him. He was just a shepherd boy. And if you looked at him, you might think he wasn't special or he couldn't do anything cool, but God had a very special plan for him. He was going to go fight the Philistines. The Philistines were very scary people and very mean, and everybody else was scared. They didn't want to go fight the Philistines, but David trusted God and knew that God would take care of him. So he said, I will go to battle. I will face Goliath, the giant. David did not have any weapons, no swords, nothing to protect him, so he went and gathered 5 stones. He was going to use those. And again, he trusted God and knew that God would take care of him. So he went up and met Goliath. He threw a stone, hit Goliath right in the head, and defeated Goliath. The Philistines were scared and the other people rejoiced that God had used David to take care of them. Watch our Bible story and learn how God can use everybody for a special purpose.
Hey friends, I'm Megan.
And I'm Jessie.
Jessie, how was the park yesterday? Did you go down the tall slide?
I did. Guess who else went down the tall slide?
Who?
My baby sister.
Wow, really?
Yes. She is really little, but she was not afraid at all. My little brother and I tried to make sure she didn't get hurt, but she didn't even need us.
That's awesome, Jesse. In today's Bible story, David defeated the giant Goliath. David was small and young. He didn't look like someone who could beat a giant, but God helped him. Listen to the story. Saul was the king of Israel, but he did not obey God. So God chose a new king for Israel. God told Samuel to visit a man in Bethlehem. The man's name was Jesse, and he had 8 sons. God said that one of Jesse's sons would be the new king. Jesse's oldest son was tall and handsome. When Samuel saw him, he thought, "This must be the one God chose to be king." "He's not the one," God told Samuel. "Do not pay attention to what he looks like. You look at what you can see on the outside, but I see the heart." One by one, Samuel met Jesse's sons, but God had not chosen any of them. "Do you have any more sons?" Samuel asked. "Yes," Jesse said. "My youngest son, David, is in the field taking care of the sheep." Jesse sent for David. When David arrived, God told Samuel, "He is the one." Samuel anointed David. He poured oil on David's head to show that God had chosen David to be the next king. Then Samuel went home. Sometime later, King Saul's army was getting ready to fight the Philistines. The Philistines had a great warrior named Goliath. Goliath was very tall. None of the Israelites wanted to fight Goliath. They were afraid of him. One day, David brought food to the battlefield. 3 of his brothers were in Israel's army. David saw that everyone was too afraid to fight Goliath. David said, "I will fight him." David had protected his sheep from lions and bears. He trusted God to keep him safe. So David picked up 5 stones from a nearby stream and went to Goliath with just the stones and a slingshot. Goliath made fun of David because he was just a boy. "You come to fight with a spear and sword," David said, "but I come to fight in the name of God. God always wins his battles." David ran toward Goliath. He slung a rock at Goliath, and the rock hit Goliath in the forehead. Goliath fell face down, and David killed him. The Israelites won the battle, and the Philistines ran away. David did not look like a king or someone who could beat a giant, but David trusted God, and God helped David win the battle for his people. Jesus did not look like someone who could save people either. But when Jesus died and came back to life, he showed his power over sin and death and won our victory.